Let's delve into a profound topic: forget about luck. It's a concept that can mislead us into thinking that our future is dictated by chance. But what if I told you that instead of relying on luck, there's a powerful and reliable way to shape your reality? So we're going to dive deep into how you can use the principles of quantum physics and the power of your mind to create the life you desire. Let's start by understanding that reality isn't controlled by random acts of luck. Instead, it's shaped by the energy and intentions we emit. Think about it. If you're always waiting for luck to come your way, you're putting your future in the hands of chance. But if you understand the science of how consciousness creates reality, you can take charge and actively design your own destiny. At the core of this understanding is the idea that everything in the universe is energy. This includes your thoughts and feelings. Your mind is not just a passive observer of reality, it's an active participant. When you think and feel, you're emitting a specific frequency into the quantum field. This frequency then interacts with the potential that exists in the field, shaping the events that unfold in your life. So how do we move from a state of waiting for luck to actively creating our own reality? It begins with intention. Intention is the focus direction of your energy. It's like setting a dial on a radio. You tune into a specific frequency to receive a particular station. Similarly, by setting a clear intention, you're tuning into the specific reality you want to experience. But intention alone isn't enough. You also need to align your emotional state with your intention. Emotions are the carriers of energy. If you intend to achieve something but feel doubt or fear, your emotional energy is in conflict with your intention. This mismatch can prevent your desired reality from manifesting. Instead, you need to cultivate elevated emotions, such as joy, gratitude, and excitement, that resonate with the frequency of your intention. Imagine you want to get a new job. Just wishing for it or hoping it will happen is not enough to make it a reality. Instead, you need to take a more powerful approach. You have to truly feel as if you already have that job. This means you need to experience the emotions and sensations that come with actually having the job, as though it is already a part of your life. Start by picturing yourself in the job you want. Imagine what it would be like to work there every day. Visualize yourself walking into the office, meeting your new colleagues, and performing the tasks you would do in that role. See yourself enjoying the work, feeling accomplished and proud of what you are doing. Notice the details in your mind, what the office looks like, how your desk is set up, and the kind of work environment you are in. As you visualize yourself in this role, focus on the feelings of satisfaction and happiness that come with having the job. How does it feel to be in a position you've always wanted? Are you excited about the new challenges and opportunities? Do you feel a sense of fulfillment and purpose in your work? Allow yourself to fully experience these emotions as if they are happening right now. Next, let's talk about gratitude. Feeling grateful is a powerful way to align yourself with what you want. In this case, you should feel gratitude for the job you are manifesting as though you already have it. Imagine you are thanking the universe for this amazing opportunity that has come your way. Feel a deep sense of appreciation for the job, the people you will be working with, and the experiences you will have. Gratitude helps to create a strong emotional connection to the reality you want to bring into your life. It signals to the universe that you are already receiving what you desire, and this positive feeling helps to match your energy with that reality. When you truly feel thankful for something as if it has already happened, you are creating a powerful vibration that attracts that reality closer to you. It's important to understand that this emotional alignment, feeling the emotions of having the job and expressing gratitude for it, is more than just daydreaming. It is about creating a vibrational match between your energy and the reality you want. When your feelings and emotions align with what you want, you send out a clear signal to the universe that you are ready to receive it. So how do you make this process even more effective? Consistency is key. Make it a daily practice to visualize your new job and feel the emotions associated with it. The more often you immerse yourself in these feelings, the stronger your vibrational match will become. This doesn't mean you need to spend hours each day on this practice. Even a few minutes a day can make a big difference. Additionally, as you practice this emotional alignment, you might find that new ideas or opportunities start to come to you. Pay attention to these signs and be open to taking action when needed. Manifestation is not just about feeling good, it's also about being receptive to the guidance and opportunities that come your way. Now let's explore the concept of the quantum field. The quantum field is a field of infinite possibilities that exists in the present moment. All potential outcomes are available to you, but you need to access this field to bring them into your life. The key is to enter a state of pure consciousness, where you become detached from your current self and your past experiences. To do this, you must transcend your old self and embrace the new. This process is like crossing a river from one shore to another. The old self is tied to past experiences, limiting beliefs, and habitual thoughts. The new self is aligned with your highest potential and future possibilities. As you cross this river, you'll face challenges and resistance from your old self, but with passion, intensity, and persistence, you can move beyond these limitations. When you reach the other side, you'll experience a profound shift. You'll feel liberated from the chains of your past and energized to create a new future. This shift is facilitated by entering the present moment with a clear intention and an elevated emotional state. In this space, you become nobody, no thing, nowhere, in no time. Pure consciousness. This state allows you to interact with the quantum field in a powerful way. You see, as long as you're holding on to your old identity, you're limited by past conditioning. To create something new, you must let go of your association with the past and your current environment. You need to become nobody, so you can access the potential that exists beyond your current reality. This is where miracles can happen. When you reach this state of pure consciousness, something amazing happens. Your brain and heart start to work together in a special way, creating a sense of wholeness. This is when everything seems to come together and you feel complete and at peace. Let's break down what's happening. First, your brain becomes more synchronized. This means that both sides of your brain, the left and the right, start to work together more smoothly. Normally, the left side of the brain is involved in logical thinking and problem solving, while the right side handles creativity and emotions. When they sync up, they cooperate and communicate better, leading to a more balanced and harmonious state of mind. At the same time, your heart enters a state of coherence. Coherence means that the heart's rhythm becomes steady and smooth. When your heart is coherent, it sends out a strong, clear signal to the rest of your body. This creates a feeling of alignment and stability, which helps you to feel more grounded and centered. This combination of brain synchronization and heart coherence leads to a profound feeling of joy and fulfillment. You start to experience a deep sense of happiness and contentment that goes beyond surface-level emotions. It's as if you've tapped into a wellspring of positive feelings that fill you up from within. In this state, something important changes in how you approach life. You stop trying to force things to happen or control every outcome. Instead, you shift your focus to trust. You trust that the universe is working with you, and you allow things to flow naturally. You're no longer trying to make things happen through sheer effort or willpower. Instead of pushing and striving, you become more receptive. You open yourself up to receive what the universe has in store for you. It's like letting go of the need to control the situation, and instead being open to the possibilities that come your way. This doesn't mean you stop taking action or making efforts. Rather, it means you stop resisting and trying to micromanage every detail. By trusting in the universe, you align yourself with a larger flow of energy. You become part of a bigger picture where things start to fall into place more easily. When you let go of the need to control, you create space for opportunities and positive experiences to come to you. This state of being is a powerful shift. It allows you to feel more connected to yourself and to the world around you. You're not just reacting to events or circumstances, you're participating in a co-creative process with the universe. As you stay in this state of pure consciousness, you find that things seem to work out better. The challenges and obstacles you face become easier to navigate, and you start to experience a greater sense of ease and flow in your life. This is a departure from traditional third-dimensional creation, where you're often required to take physical actions and wait for results. In the third dimension, creating something new takes time and effort. You have to go out and get it, whether it's a new job, a relationship, or a house. This process is linear and requires navigating through a series of steps. In contrast, fifth-dimensional creation operates differently. Here, you're not chasing after what you want. Instead, you're drawing it to you. You become a vortex that collapses time and space, attracting your desires through the energy you emit. This process doesn't involve predicting how or when things will happen. It's about trusting in the unknown and aligning your energy with your desired outcome. As you keep practicing and improving this process of manifesting your desires, you will notice something amazing happening. Your ability to make things come to you will start to feel much easier. You'll begin to have moments where everything seems to align perfectly and your wishes and goals come to you without much struggle. This is a sign that you are truly understanding and using your own energy in the right way. When you first start, it might feel challenging or like you are working hard to make things happen. But as you continue to practice, you'll get better at it. You will learn how to focus your energy and emotions more effectively. Over time, you'll see that the process becomes smoother and things start to fall into place more naturally. Imagine you're trying to manifest a new opportunity, like a better job or a new relationship. At first, it might seem like a lot of effort to keep visualizing, feeling the emotions, and staying grateful. But as you keep doing this regularly, you'll notice that opportunities begin to appear more often and with less effort on your part. It's like the universe starts to respond to your clear and positive energy. You'll have experiences where everything seems to come together just right. For instance, you might have a chance meeting with someone who can offer you the job you've been dreaming about, or you might find yourself in the right place at the right time for something you've wanted. These moments where things just seem to click are the result of you mastering the art of using your own energy. This ease of manifesting isn't about luck. It's about learning how to control and direct your own energy. You're not relying on chance or random events. Instead, you're creating a reality based on how well you align your thoughts, feelings, and energy with what you want. When you understand how to harness your own energy, you become the creator of your own experiences. Becoming a master of your own reality means you are in control of your own life and outcomes. You're not waiting for external circumstances to change or for luck to favor you. Instead, you are actively shaping your life through your energy and focus. When you fully grasp this concept, you start to see that you have the power to influence and create the reality you want. As you get more skilled at this, you might find that your desires come to you with surprising ease. You'll start to feel like you're living in a world where things work out for you naturally. This is because you have learned how to use your energy in a way that aligns with your goals and desires. You will also notice that you have more confidence in your ability to manifest what you want. As you experience more of these effortless moments, you'll become more assured in your skills and trust that you can create the outcomes you desire. This confidence will further enhance your ability to manifest, making the process even smoother. To effectively use this understanding, you must be committed and persistent. You need to practice consistently and be willing to disrupt old patterns of thought and emotion. It's not always easy, and there will be times when you feel like giving up. But remember, the more you practice, the more you'll break free from old limitations and align with your true potential. At the speed of light. And I turn my lamp on, I turn my headlight on, will it go on? So he thought about that question every single day of his life, every day of his life. He would go out in a boat on a lake as a child and lay on his back in the boat and look up at the sky and think about this. And he was building models of understanding. He was working his best to be able to figure out how light and energy were related. He did it for 10 years. He was possessed by the concept. And finally, he was working as a third-rate clerk in a Swiss patent office, and he was watching this man fix the roof across the way. And he just paused for a moment, and he was watching him. And the moment he was watching him, he got this incredible vision, and he understood how light and energy were related. It was a very abstract vision. And it was so abstract and so dimensional that he had to go back to school to learn the mathematics to be able to explain what he saw. And his wife, his first wife, was an amazing scientist, and she helped him with a lot of the mathematics. And so when Einstein began to figure it out, he narrowed it down to that one simple equation that E equals mc squared, energy and matter related, and the currency converter is the speed of light. And so it became very interesting because when Einstein published his papers on relativity, he didn't say like, hey, this person said this and this person said this, and I'm going to footnote this person. He just said, ladies and gentlemen, this is how it is. And it rocked the scientific community because he didn't really need anybody else as a reference. He had a discovery, and his discovery was so unique, and his brain really was wired for the understanding of light. And light was the ceiling of this reality. And so Einstein and Planck started doing these really interesting experiments where they were taking energy and they were putting energetic impulses into metals. And what they were looking to see is if electrons behave the same way as the very large. In other words, when an apple falls from the tree, it falls in a very specific way. It falls towards the center. It falls towards the larger body. So he reasoned, well, if we disturb electrons, and him and Planck were doing these experiments, if we disturb these electrons, then they should fall just like an apple falling from the tree towards the nucleus. It should be predictable, just like it's predictable in Newtonian physics and classical physics. Well, when they started disturbing the electrons, something very unusual happened. The electron gained energy, then it lost energy. And it gained energy, and it lost energy. And it gained energy, and it lost energy. And instead of it falling like a ball rolling down a hill, it was like a ball rolling down steps. All of a sudden, they became very aware that the subatomic world, the very tiny, didn't behave like the very large world. And so then they started to look for the electron. They started to try to measure it. And everywhere they looked for it, it appeared. And when they turned their back on it and they no longer looked to measure it, it went from a particle that collapsed, called collapsing the wave function, back into energy. Now, this was a revolutionary moment because this meant that subjective mind, your mind has an effect on the objective world. That mind and matter are somehow correlated. And so this birth of quantum physics came along. And this quantum physics experiment say that you cannot do a quantum physics experiment without an observer around. In other words, a mind always has to be present because it will influence the outcome. You with me? So now that invisible field of spirit, that invisible field of information and energy, somehow you as an individual can influence the nature of reality with your mind. The same experiences produce the same emotions. Those same emotions tend to influence the way we think. And our biology, our neurocircuitry, our neurochemistry, our hormones, and even our gene expression is equal to how we think, how we act, and how we feel. And how you think, how you act, and how you feel is called your personality. And your personality creates your personal reality. That's it. So then it makes sense then, if you want to create a new personal reality, a new life, you're going to have to change your personality. And you've got to start thinking about what you've been thinking about and change it. You've got to become aware of your unconscious habits and behaviors, even how you speak. Then you have to look at the emotions that you live by every single day and decide, do these emotions belong in my future? So many people try to create a new life as the same person. In order to create a new personal reality, you've got to change your personality. So the principle in neuroscience says that nerve cells that fire together, wire together, thinking the same way, making the same choices, demonstrating the same actions, creating the same experiences that stamp the same networks of neurons into the same patterns, all for the familiar feeling called you. And you do that for 10 years in a row, you're going to hardwire your brain into a very finite signature because you're firing and wiring that way. And that box in the brain, that becomes our personality, becomes our identity. And by the time we're 35 years old, for the most part, we've done something so many times that the body now knows how to do it as well as the mind. And that's a habit. So we have these unconscious programs of behaviors, automatic habits, redundant emotional reactions, hardwired beliefs, perceptions, attitudes that function just like a computer program. You press go and it runs automatically. So then when it comes time to change, thinking positively is going to do nothing because your body has been conditioned for the most part into a program in the past. So the thought never makes it to the body because the body's on a different program. So how do we begin to influence the body so that the thought actually produces some type of change? So think about it. If you think an unhappy thought, you're going to feel unhappy. If you think you're a failure, you're going to feel like a failure. Once you feel like a failure, you're going to think you're a failure. And people get caught in these loops of thinking and feeling and feeling and thinking. And that redundancy is a conditioning process because all you need is an image or a picture or a thought and a feeling, a response, stimulus response. And so the people tend to condition their brain and body into the past. And so when it comes time to change, you got to leave that familiar territory. And any choice that you make, if you said, hey, I'm going to eat a better diet, I'm going to wake up early and work out, I'm going to do meditation, the moment you decide to do something differently, get ready because it's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel unfamiliar. There's going to be some uncertainty. You're not going to be able to predict the next moment. That means you've left your known biology and you're stepping into the unknown. Now, theoretically, that sounds great, but if the body has been conditioned into a familiar feeling, it's in the known. The moment you take it outside the familiarity, it wants to go back to where it's comfortable. So the body starts influencing the mind. And this is where people say, I want you to start your diet tomorrow. Oh, why don't you start working out this evening? You're really never going to change. You're too tired. You have a headache. This doesn't feel right. And this is where people talk themselves out of it. Because if they respond to that thought leads to the same choice, which leads to the same behavior, creates the same experience, produces the same feeling, and then they say, this feels right. No, that feels familiar. So going from one state of mind and body to another state of mind and body, you gotta cross a river. And the hardest part about change is not making the same choice as you did the day before. Now, once people understand that they're going to be uncomfortable, then the question is, what thoughts do you want to fire and wire in your brain? What behaviors will you demonstrate in one day? And the act of closing your eyes and rehearsing who you're going to be when you open your eyes begins to install neurological hardware in your brain to look like you've already done it. Now, intention is a vision, a potential that already exists in the quantum field that you get to select. And when you ask yourself a question like, what would it be like to be healthy? What would it be like to be wealthy? What would it be like to be free or to be in love? The moment you ask that creative question, a part of your brain called the frontal lobe turns on. That's the crowning achievement of the human being. Once that area of the brain turns on, it's like a great symphony leader. It looks out of the landscape of the entire brain and it begins to randomly select different networks of neurons that are connected to the things you've learned in your life or the experiences you've had. and it begins to seamlessly paste them together to create an ideal, a vision, or an internal representation. That is a potential experience that's awaiting you. But it's not enough to just have the mind involved. Thoughts are the language of the brain and feelings are the language of the body. And how you think and how you feel creates a state of being. Once you can begin to emotionally embrace that future reality before it's made manifest, when you combine that clear intention with an elevated emotion, the freedom, the joy, the inspiration, the genuine love that you feel or gratitude from that experience, the moment you do that, your body as the unconscious mind begins to believe it's living in that future reality in the present moment. Now you're moving into a new state of being, into a new personality, and a new personality creates a new personal reality. The research that we've done shows that when we teach people how to regulate their internal states, to begin to create more coherence in their brain, and to generate elevated emotions like joy and gratitude and inspiration, that not only does the brain become coherent, but so does the heart. And when the brain is coherent, the heart is coherent. When the heart is coherent, the brain is coherent. And so why don't we live by these states on a daily basis? Primarily because the majority of the time that we live in our waking state of consciousness, 70% of the time, you and I are living by the hormones of stress. And living in stress is living in survival. And when you're living in survival, the very chemicals of survival cause you to function as materialist, defining your reality with your senses. You pay attention to objects and things and people. You begin to believe that your outer world is more real than your inner world. And the side effect of this over time begins to cause us to feel separate from possibility. Why? Because when you're threatened by some predator or some danger in your life, it's not a time to go in. It's not a time to trust the unknown. It's not a time to open your heart and feel love. It's not a time to communicate. It's not a time to create. It's not a time to learn. It's a time to survive. So then, in order for us to create, we have to lay down the very thing we used our whole life to get what we want for something greater to occur. And most importantly, we want you to understand when you're in the creative state and when you're not. And if you were to take a little time every day and apply some of the principles in changing beliefs and perceptions about yourself and your life, and what is a belief other than a thought you keep thinking over and over again? And all beliefs are based on past experiences. And in order for you to change a belief or perception about yourself and your life, you have to make a decision with such firm intention that the amplitude of that decision carries a level of energy that's greater than the hardwired programs in your brain and the emotional conditioning in your body, and your body literally has to respond to a new mind. And when the choice becomes an experience that you never forget, that's the moment the past biologically no longer exists in you. People use the word victim so much, and I don't really think we spend a lot of time really unraveling the idea. But if I said to you, Jay, how are you doing today? And you said, well, I'm really upset because of this person or this circumstance or this condition in my life, then what we're saying, this is not conscious, this is an unconscious program. What we're saying is somebody out there is actually controlling the way I'm feeling and the way that I'm thinking. So if something out there is controlling your feelings and your thoughts, you're victim to whoever, whatever that is. Now here's the challenge. The challenge is when things go really well, then you are feeling really good. But when things aren't going very well, then you're feeling pretty bad. You begin to become conscious of your unconscious actions or habits or behaviors and modify them. And then we have to begin to look at the emotions that we live by every single day that keep us connected to the past and decide, do these emotions belong in our future? So most people are trying to create a new personal reality as the same personality, and it doesn't work. You literally have to become someone else. And can you select a new possibility in the quantum field and begin to emotionally embrace that future every single day to such a degree that your body, as the unconscious mind, the objective mind, does not know the difference between the experience in your life that's creating the emotion and the emotion that you're fabricating by thought alone, to the degree that you begin to signal new genes and new ways to change your body to look like the experience has already happened. Now, the latest research in epigenetics says it's absolutely possible. This every day, installing the circuitry every day, conditioning the body into the emotion of the future, that your body begins to change to look like it's already happened. Now, this is where it gets fun, because now you no longer have to go anywhere to get it. If you think that your thoughts have something to do with your future, just from a theoretical standpoint, that your thoughts create your destiny, and you think 60 to 70,000 thoughts in one day, and 90% of those thoughts are the same thoughts as the day before, well, then your life isn't going to change very much as long as you're thinking the same way. If you're not being defined by a vision of the future, then you're left with the memories of the past. Is it possible then that the way you think and the way you feel can begin to produce effects in your outer world? Now, that isn't something that you swallow in one bite. It's a process of gaining knowledge. It's a process of practice. It's a process of experience. But once you start seeing those synchronicities, those coincidences, those opportunities, that start to fall into place because you're experiencing change in your outer world. If you're doing the work, you're going to start paying attention to what you're doing inside of you that's producing the effect outside of you. And once you correlate the changes of what you're doing inside of you with the effect you produce outside of you, you're going to pay attention to what you did, and you're going to do it again. And all of a sudden, you're going to start believing more that you're the creator of your life and less of the victim of your life. And those same thoughts lead to the same choices. The same choices lead to the same behaviors. The same behaviors create the exact same experiences, and we anticipate the same feelings or emotions from those experiences.